Let's talk about discrimination in the labor market. Does it pay for firms to discriminate? Does it pay for businesses to discriminate in their hiring? The answer is it depends. The one theory of this is a labor market theory that suggests discrimination is actually going to raise your labor costs, and it's going to slowly give you less of a competitive edge, may actually put you out of business. It works like this. Let's say there are two groups of workers in your town. There's the majority and the minority. Let's say the minority is not well regarded. It's not a model minority. It's kind of a second-class citizen. They're treated as not as good. There's a negative history there. And the majority-owned business will not hire the minority workers. Well, minority workers, since they're not doing as well, their wages are actually lower than the majority workers. And so the majority business would say, well, I'm not going to hire them, which means they've cut out part of their labor market. They're saying, we're not going to hire this labor, even though it might be cheaper, even though we're going to lose productive workers, things like that. We're only going to hire the majority. That's going to raise their labor cost. And the thinking is, according to that theory, that because the labor costs are higher, that firm will be less competitive, won't stand up as well to its competition, and will actually eventually either go out of business or suffer low profitability in the long run because of that discrimination policy. Now, that theory works except in one situation. When does discrimination in the labor market in hiring actually pay off for the firms? Well, it's when the customers of the firm want there to be discrimination. Same scenario, let's say you have a majority-owned business with majority customers that come in. And those majority customers do not want to be served. Let's use a restaurant for an example. They don't want to be served by minority people in the restaurant. They only want to be served by majority people in the restaurant. Well, since the customer base expects that discrimination, and they would either not patronize the business or think less of it or say bad things about it if they were served by minority customers, in that instance, you would actually have a payoff for discrimination. By discriminating against the minority group for hiring, you're actually going to make yourself more competitive in a sociological environment where there is overt and terrible discrimination in the community. However, if you are a owner of such a firm and you are saying, hey, I want the value of the minority labor, I'm not bigoted, I want to hire them, but yet my customers do not want to see them, what might you do? If you said you're still going to hire the minority candidates, but you're going to put them in back office jobs, you're going to put them in the kitchen where they're not seen, and all the front-facing contact with the customer sort of folks are going to be the majority workers, minority workers kept hidden out of sight, step to the front of the class, because you're right. So non-discriminating firms in an environment where discrimination pays off, they're going to still hire minority candidates, but they're going to put them in non-customer facing positions to not anger their customers, but at the same time still benefit from the labor of the minority group.